Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Once again, we're having the weekly outlook on a Monday morning. We will still resume back to our usual slot on Sundays at 10 a.m. Right, so the markets have been interesting over the last couple of weeks. We have seen some serious rallies from mid-February throughout to around the first week of March. So it looks like the market is slowing down now. So it's a good thing when the market slows down because we start going into corrective structures. And when we look at corrective structures, that prepares us for another leg higher. So it's interesting when we're looking at that. So that's what we're going to be looking at, when how the market is correcting, and when we project that we're going to get next legs in the overall path of the market. So it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned and have a look at how we're looking at the market going ahead. It's actually interesting to do it on a Monday morning because the market is sort of already open. We're already in the London session, so we've already seen some market moves. So before we get started, if you'd like to contact us, check out our contact details under the description of all our videos. You may want to also just sign up on our website for any communication that we will send out. If you'd like to get any of our communications, you can sign up on our website. You'll find our website. Let me just see where that is. Let's just go back one video. On our website, you will get under the description. So this is our website, elliottwave-principle.com. All information about our services is there, including the next course, which starts on the 5th of April. We have concluded the February course, what was a very interesting course. So you will never feel the need to attend another course after this because you've got a full recorded course on that. Every content is covered. The basics of the Elliott Wave strategy is covered, as well as the advanced principle the Elliott Wave principle covered in this course, and you stay within the group for 12 months after attending the course. So that means you get to learn every day for the next 12 months after attending the course. Right, let's get right into the business of today, but we'll start first with some trade recaps, so some focus that we had over the last couple of days or the couple of weeks, so you can see how we have been trading the markets. So what we have been showing you here and how we've been trading it. So this is the market recap, just showing you some of the focus. And just have a look here from the 13th of March. Let's just have a look at this. So these are some trade recaps. Let's start here. So this is Euro US dollar. This is the week before, but it extends to this week as well. So Euro US dollar, I've shown you a sneak preview of what we do in our live trading room on a daily basis during the London session, and how we forecasted where this was going to reverse, where this was going to bounce, and where this was going to turn, and where we're going to get a bounce. Since here, we've had a move here, we've had a move here, we've had a bounce here, we've had a move down here. We are currently around this level on Euro US dollar. Now the question is, are we going to get these focus that we're looking at here? So that's what we're going to be updating now in a bit. So we've already got this move. So 1, 2, 3. Even when we're going to come and have a bounce here, I showed you exactly how we forecasted that, exactly how this was going to be reversing at that area, and how we're going to reverse in this area. We've already had a bounce. Is that now the reversal that we've been looking for? Are we going to go to the upside? We'll look at that when we start with the market analysis in a bit. Right, so this is Euro US dollar. This is how this has played out. As you can see, we focused on the reversal, channeling, coming down here. We've had a bounce. We've come down here into the blue box. We've already had a bounce. Where to from here for Euro US dollar? Stay tuned. We'll see what the next move is going to be. New Zealand US dollar. We've been focusing New Zealand US dollar to keep pushing up higher, all the way up to those levels. So if you cannot see that scale properly, let me just open it up again. If you cannot see that scale properly, I just want to try and zoom in so you can see the scale properly there. So there was Euro US dollar. Next one is New Zealand yen. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see the scale there. So this was the forecast, looking for this to continue to the upside. How did that play out? Let's have a look. I think you've all seen how the market has played out. We've made a push to the upside from here, exactly as forecasted. We had a pullback here. That is how New Zealand yen is playing out. Where to next for New Zealand yen? We'll see as we start with the market analysis. US dollar yen, this was, check the date here, January 31st, when we forecasted this, that we're going to get a move to the upside. We're going to get a move back, and then we're going to get a move all the way to the upside. We are currently around here on US dollar yen. Go check your charts. This was the 31st of January. Look at how this has played out. We've had our pullback. How did we know that this sharp pullback was not going to be a reversal, and we focused that we're going to keep seeing upside? We are currently here. We're currently here now on US dollar yen. Very, very nice focused on US dollar yen. And these charts are all available on the website for members before these moves even play out. CAD yen, we're focusing, moved all the way to the upside. So it has even crashed this move. We've even seen around 86 on CAD yen as follows. This is how this has played out. So February 28th, that was last week. So we've already made this move here up to this level on CAD yen, and we have continued to make a move to the upside. The move to the upside on CAD yen is still going to continue. Let me just go one back here on this. So this was focused at 20th of February. So the third week of February, we were focusing that we're going to see a deeper pullback, and we're going to still see continuation to the upside. Even when this looked like a sharp pullback, we're still sure that this was going to continue pushing up higher, because the cycle and the sequence was not complete. Okay, who would hold a trade? Say for example, you're holding a trade here and it's reversing like this. How do you know that you must hold and not exit the trade? That is why you need to have confidence in the cycle and the sequence and the structure of the market. Brent crude, forecasting the reversal around this level. As you can see, that's exactly how Brent crude has played out, has made a move to the upside and still continuing higher. So this is why, I mean, you cannot get CAD yen wrong if you've got oil right, because CAD yen is driven by oil because of the CAD in it. So all the pairs with CAD in it, if it is the base pair, obviously you should be expecting continuation to the upside. If CAD is here, you should be expecting continuation to the downside, because that is all driven by the oil. So you cannot be forecasting oil upside and forecasting CAD yen the opposite. So Brent crude, that's how that has played out. Dow Jones Industrial, the pullbacks that I have been showing for a while, I've only been saying one thing with the indices, that you just need to get the corrective structures and keep getting the push to the upside. How has that played out? This is the Dow. We get a pullback, we get the correction. What happens? How do we know that this is not a reversal? We've got this. Even last week we were saying we're looking for continuation to the upside, and it is still continuing to the upside, as you will see when we start with the market analysis. This is another update on Brent crude. Right, dollar index, exactly the same as the euro. We focused that we were going to get a move up like this. We're going to get this, and we're going to get this. We're going to get a pullback and upside, and then downside. Where are we now? We're currently here. So all these moves that were focused on the DXY, just like we did with the euro US dollar, have been we've got them inch perfect. Close there. Let me just go back to it. Let's just go back to the dollar index. So this was the dollar index forecast, inch perfect. As you can see, we get up there and then we start coming down. This is where we are currently. Now we need to see where to from here for the dollar index. That's what we're going to be looking at shortly. Euro US dollar, we've already looked at this. So this is the latest update on Euro US dollar. We've been looking for this to do that. Already looked at this one from the previous week's chart. So bounce here and then move down here. We're already around this area. We will do an update on this. Euro US dollar, so that's how it has played out. Just the chart, current chart. New Zealand, it's an update again. US dollar yen, updated CAD yen again. The Dow, I want to see some new charts. DAX as well. 1, 2, 3, we're expecting this to pull back. How do we know? How do we pinpoint these reversals? We've also got an indicator that confirms the structure. You cannot look at the structure alone. These charts were developed or computer generated. We're reading them with the naked eye, but you can use the indicator to confirm these structures. we use a special indicator that's integrated into the Elliott Wave theory in order for us to project this move. So this is Bitcoin now. Right, so Bitcoin, we had this move previously, and then we had a move to the upside here. Now the correction that we've seen here is the WXY correction that you will see when we do the crypto webinar. So watch out for the crypto webinar immediately after this. So we're looking for this to continue to the upside. And we've got that correction as a move like this, and then upside, we're currently now at 68. Is at the end of the move on Bitcoin. You'll see when we do the crypto webinar. All right, so we've had that. So that was the pullback. That is the 3 waves that I've shown even before it started. 1, 2, 3, and then we were looking for upside. We're currently around these levels. We've come up to this level, and it looks like we're getting something like this. We will update this as we start. There was Bitcoin, Litecoin, the same thing, focusing that we're going to get a push to the upside because the sequence was not done. That's how Litecoin has played out. We are currently at these levels. And that's all the trade recaps for the last 2 weeks. And that's how we've been forecasting the market. And that's how accurate the Elliott Wave strategy is. Now, let's get started with today's analysis. Right, let's start. We're going to start with the DXY and the Euro. Start with the DXY. Right, so the DXY, as you've seen, we have reversed as had been previously forecasted from the blue box. We've been forecasting a move like this on the DXY, that we're going to get a reversal like that. Okay, so now we've made a move to the downside from the blue box. We made a push to the upside here. Looks like this, we're still going to be sideways. Let's just make this more visible. What you're gonna get here, this looks like we're still gonna be a little bit more sideways. So we've got this structure here looking like this. We could get something like this. We can even retest the blue box as I've said previously, and then continue all the way to the downside. For now, we're still currently sideways. Can get this move and then start coming down. So let's see how that's gonna play out. So it's the same focus on Euro, US dollar. We'll be expecting the same thing here. So a bit of a move here, bit of a retest maybe of the blue box or not, or just reverse from here, but just a pullback, then we'll look at this to continue to the upside. But the focus is for this to continue to the upside. The structure is exactly the same as the DXY. We want to see this one push out from the blue box. As you can see, that's how we focused on this blue box here. That's how we focused on this blue box here. That's how we focused on this push, this bounce here. If you watch my video on how to trade WXY or XZ like a pro, you will see that this is a typical example of how to do that in this pair. So we'll be looking for this here. That is a euro yen, pound yen. Pound yen, looking for this one, has already broken out of this corrective structure. Can have something like this and a push to the upside, even if this may be corrective, and then we'll see something like this again on pound yen. Okay, so that's how we're going to be looking at pound yen. Right, US dollar chief. US dollar chief has been playing out a little bit differently to the rest of the structures. So here we are seeing a bit of a push to the upside. There is not much movement currently from all the pairs that we're seeing. So we'll see how that's going to play out. So we're going to see a bit of a push to the upside. Will it just come take the top here? If it takes this top, we'll be expecting this to continue to the upside. Why? Even if we do get one more down, that will look like a continuation pattern to the upside. So that will change the structure. So we'll be watching this as well. But for now, let's see how this can play out. If it takes the bottom here, we'll see a structure like this. And then we'll see this again, which is 1, 2, 3, WXY to the downside if we're going to resume any upside here. That is US dollar chief. US dollar CAD, I've said you don't buy US dollar CAD anytime soon. Last week we were here. We've already dropped. We are now here. We're correcting. It doesn't look like we're going to get a bounce. Looks like we're going to get something like this. And then US dollar CAD will still continue to the downside. Let's get the daily chart here. Okay, let's have a look here. Do we have some? We've got some divergence on the RSI. This indicator here is the RSI. This is the RSI. So your normal RSI. Okay, so your RSI. It's not the indicator I'm talking about. What you're seeing here is not the indicator I'm talking about. So this is what we're seeing here. We're seeing some divergence. We're seeing lower lows. We're seeing lower highs. Is that right? Higher lows, higher lows. I keep getting tongue tied when I say this. So some higher low here. So there's divergence. We're seeing price making lower lows. So we see the indicator making some higher lows. So let's see how this is going to play out. We should get a bounce. So, but even so, that bounce may just be an ending diagonal here, where we're going to see another 3-wave pullback here before this continues to the downside, because the move to the downside is not done yet. We're looking for this to get around the 120 area still. So even if you do get a bounce, we're still going to look for this to continue to the downside. That is US dollar CAD. Audi US dollar. We've seen a 3-wave pullback here. I'm on the daily here. We've seen this 3-wave pullback on US dollar, Audi US dollar, and we're expecting this one to continue to the upside like this. Still very likely. Let's go to the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, we'll be looking at this structure. We've seen the 3 waves. We're looking for this to push up higher. So we can come back here and then continue to the upside like that. New Zealand, same structure. 3-wave pullback. 1, 2, 3. And move to the upside. Are we going to see this as a corrective structure? And then start looking for upside. Okay, so that's how we're going to be looking at this. This is an ABC corrective structure. Completed. We're starting to see a move to the upside. Is this a corrective structure? If it is a corrective structure, that means we might have a double before we actually go, and that double is going to play out something like this: WX, Y, and then we look for upside. This move continues. This move continues. So let's see how that's going to play out. So currently we are here. Even if we do see a bit of a pullback, this should resume higher. That is New Zealand, US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR, if you remember what we've been saying about US dollar ZAR for a while, we're looking for US dollar ZAR to come and make a bounce here. So we've made that bounce here. We've made the bounce here back to this level, exactly where we focused, and now we are down here. Now we're looking for the last move to the downside here before US dollar ZAR resumes with the move to the upside. So that's what we're going to be looking at on US dollar ZAR. This move that is playing out here, we focused it while we were still right up here. Around October last year, we focused on this move. Pound yen, continuation to the upside. I've been saying continuation to the upside. This is the reason why. If you look at the weekly, the structure that we're looking at, we want this to go to this level. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3. Let me see if I still have these on our... Let's just have a look here so you can see where this focus come from. But you may see the updated one, but I wanted you to see the one that was forecasted weeks back. You see here. Let's see here. When was this? This is the latest one, actually. We're still right at the bottom here, but this weekly chart we've been updating for a while. We are currently only in this structure that you see here on the weekly. All these moves, let me see, let's just check where we were. From 140, where are we now currently? This is where we're forecasting. We've already made 1,200 pips on pound yen because we're looking at this structure. You've seen that 1,200 pips. I've shown this a couple of weeks back. Have you made a single cent out of this? We're still expecting 156. How long have I been talking about 156? Even if we do break beyond 156, it doesn't matter. You would have already got 1,200 here for pound yen. That's how we focused. This is the part that you don't see. Okay, so if you knew this part, you would not worry about if pound yen is around this area, are we reversing or are we going up? If you're in the trade, then you will know that you need to hold if you are going in negative. So you need to hold all the way up there. So that's how we trade, and this is what you need to see. So when you see on the weekly outlook and we just look for continuation to the upside, that's because we've got a background of the overall structure. Now, what are we looking at again? We're looking at the same thing. We say look for continuation to the upside. At least now, this time you know why we're saying continuation to the upside. So even if you are here, this is going to push up higher. Even if you see this one taking the top here, coming down here, you will not panic because you know the pound yen still has a way to go to the upside and there's no sign of reversal up to this point. US dollar yen, you've seen the forecast on this. So we are looking at you've seen the trade recap on this. We're looking for this to be another three-way pullback. We're still expecting further upside. That is US dollar yen, euro yen. Again, euro yen is another one of those that I've shown you the bigger structure a couple of weeks back. If you concentrate on these webinars, you'll actually make some real money. And it will prevent you from losing money. Or if you even attend the course, even better, because you'll always be up to date. So we are looking for this. We're looking for this to continue to the upside. We're still looking for further upside. Even if I'm seeing a pullback currently on euro yen, I'm still expecting this. Because the bigger structure is telling us upside. Chief yen also, we're still expecting upside. That's where we get this move from. Still upside. CAD yen, you've seen this one during trade recaps. So it does not matter what happens if you forecasted your move, unless you lose a trade, then you can get out. But if that's your forecast, if you remember, let me just go quickly back to that forecast on US dollar CAD, see if I can find it quickly. CAD yen. CAD yen. So imagine you're getting a sharp move like this and you're in the trade, you're losing money. I've had a number of times where people call me that they're in a trade, it's going in against their forecasted direction. What should they do? Unfortunately, it's very difficult to advise somebody who's already in a losing trade. And it's also very difficult to ask, when you took the trade, what were you thinking? Okay, obviously you don't want to ask the person that kind of question when they're in distress. You want to help as much as possible, but please do not send me emails when you are in bad trades, because I do not want to give you advice. I can tell you to hold, I can tell you to take profits, and I tell you to hold and then you lose the trade, and I tell you to take profits and the trade actually goes in your direction, and you're going to come and say, but you said 1, 2, 3. That's why we only give advice to our members. Okay, give advice to our members. Okay, because then because our members understand our strategy, they understand our structure. All right, so that is CAD yen. What are we expecting? We're still expecting continuation to the upside on CAD yen. No sign of reversal. New Zealand, same thing. New Zealand, same thing. We've just made a continuation pattern here. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3 here. We may get a move to the downside here on the New Zealand, but first we need to see a bit of upside. So we've got this sharp move here. We've got this here. 3 waves, another 3 waves. So are we going to get this to do that and then upside? Let's see how that goes. Audi. It's 3 waves here. Is at the end of the wave. It can push a little bit higher, take the top here, come back down here before we move to the upside. So no trades here on Audi. Gold. So gold, we've seen this last week. We've seen this ending diagonal here on gold. We've seen this ending diagonal here. We saw it break out of this in the week. We've seen it give an opportunity for an entry here in the week, pushed up higher, pulled back to the 50%, 61%, has now pushed up higher. Where to next? So we may get a structure like this on gold. We may even come back here and make a move like this. If it does make a structure like this, we may see one more down again on gold, because this will be a corrective structure. So we'll have to update when that happens. Silver. Same thing, we are in a corrective structure, and this one is making a complex correction. As a complex correction, we've got to move to the upside here. We've got a running flat in the middle here, so our B wave, and we'll be looking for silver to push slightly higher. Is this the reversal, or are we still going to see a move to the downside? Just to complete this with the right color, it will be like this. Okay, be like this. So that is silver. Bit of upside currently. Let's see how that's going to play out. Brent or platinum, let's have a look at platinum. Platinum, you need to see continuation to the upside. We've broken out of this structure. We're going to see a bit of a push to the upside, same as what we'll see with silver and gold. Bit of a push to the upside, not much. Brent crude, you've already seen this, how we reached that target here from this year. We've reached the target. Now we've pulled back again with another 3 waves. We are seeing another continuation to the upside here. You're going to see more upside here on Brent crude oil. Indicators are showing us upside, but up to how far, that we have to look at the sequence. Now, here's something interesting here on pound chief. This is a corrective structure, and we're expecting this to continue to push to the upside. So we may have something like this here, 1, 2, 3 here, 1 down here, and then upside. Now, someone can come and say, oh, but there's divergence on the RSI. But there's divergence on the RSI because the RSI is making lower highs. It's making lower highs, right? But is that really divergence or is this a correction? Because what if while you're making those lower highs, this actually breaks up to the breaks to the upside like this? So that is not how you read divergence. Okay, that is not necessarily divergence. That's not how you read divergence. Actually, there's still momentum here to the upside. This is a corrective structure. We're still going to see more upside. So just because you're looking at the RSI and it's coming down like this, there's no divergence between price and the RSI, and we're still going to expect this to push to the upside. If you see this closing above this level here, expect pound chief to continue to the upside. Why? If you look at this, remember what I've shown you. First week of the year, of the year actually, in January, I showed you this structure. I said we are in wave 3 here. The same wave that we're seeing in pound yen. We're going up here. We're going in wave 3. So look for this to continue to the upside. We're not looking for reversal yet. The weekly is even better. What are we looking at? The same structure as you've seen with pound yen. We're looking for this. You're already late. You've already missed over 900 pips. From where we were focusing the breakout, we're already up 800. There's still some more, but the risk to reward ratio may not be as good. So that's why we're saying we are in wave 3 here. We may get a pullback in 4. We're still looking for this to make a push to the upside. What structure will that be? It's going to be 3, 3 up, 1, 2, 3. Pulsing move, ABC structure, simple. But you only see this now. It's too late. Right, so that is a pound yen, pound CAD. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Pound CAD, look for reversal. Look for reversal, look for continuation to the upside. I've also shown this. If you look at this, we said we are looking for this to make a 3-wave structure here. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a complex B correction as follows. 1, correction. We're looking for this to come down here. The structure is even more complex than this. If you check the previous videos, it's not the first time I draw this, and I drew this, that this is going to continue to the downside. So we're not just drawing lines. These are really decent corrective structures that we're looking at like that. So we started with this move here. Let's use the green color this time. If you look at the green here, we've got a move up here and a pullback. So we're going to be looking for this and for this to push up higher. So if you look at this whole structure, it's an ABC corrective structure. We'll be looking for this. And here we'll be looking for this to make another smaller degree ABC corrective structure. So this can go on and on and on. Here we're going to be looking for, let's just look at this one here. The yellow one, let's just look at the yellow one here, WXY corrective structure. So it's all about the theory and how we look at the structures. So if I have to keep on labeling this, you see here, what I'm doing here is just put the structure. I'm not even putting in the labelings. Labelings is secondary. But what are we looking at here? Looking for this to come around here at this level. That is pound CAD. Okay, I'm going to jump straight to Euro CAD because they have got the same structure. So Euro CAD, the same structure. Those that remember, we have a trade set up on EuroCAD from around this area. No, I'm lying. We had a trade on EuroCAD from around there, and the target was for this. Let me just go back to the 4 hours so you can see where that. If you've been following, you will remember where that trade setup was on EuroCAD. It was actually, let me just make sure that we don't lie here. So our trade setup on the EuroCAD was here, and the target was here. Okay, that's where we were on EuroCAD. We had the move here. So here was a modest target. We were just looking for this one to come hit here. We've made a bounce here. It gave another opportunity for downside here, where there was another trade set up here around this level. So this one also, again, the target was around here. Okay, it came down here, and as it was pulling back, there was also panic hands, weekends that let go of the trade, but it still made a move to the upside here. So when it broke here, when it broke down here, we're thinking, okay, maybe we're gonna get a bounce here to this level, but it was only making a pullback here. And as the indicator was showing that this was not coming down, there was an entry there was an opportunity for an entry, there was an opportunity for an entry that we saw also last week. And now EuroCAD is all the way down, and we'll be looking for this to go down to these levels. So that whole move, as you've seen, is not only, but our focus was only up to here. So this is where I was expecting this move to end. But it can still reverse at any point where we are currently. So let's just keep an eye on how this develops. There's no sign of reversal. Any pullback will be an opportunity for more downside, but it's risky to be selling EuroCAD still from those levels. Euro Chief. So Euro Chief, we had a corrective structure last week as follows. And you see the corrective structure? We had not traded this since. We saw this last week. We were here last week, and as the week developed, we made a push to the downside. Some would have panicked. Now here's the corrective structure. Here you can actually get an entry for more upside. Use Euro Chief. I didn't finish the pound pairs. Pound CAD. We've already looked at pound CAD, pound Audi. Now pound Audi, I've been trying to get into pound Audi from when we were here, but it looks like now it's going to give an opportunity for this to give us more upside here. Okay, so let's see how that's going to play out. The structure that we'll look at here, pound Audi, is this one. We've already made these 3 waves here, this corrective structure. We made these 3 waves. Are we going to get another 3 waves here as follows? So we can have a structure like this. Then that's going to be a W, that's going to be an X, and that's going to be a Y. And this one's going to be Y. Flat, zigzag, and a zigzag. WXY corrective structure. So let's see how this goes. So we're going to get a bounce here. Let's see. If we get a bounce, we may be coming back down here for this structure. Not trade yet. We'll be watching it though. Pound New Zealand, usually correlated with pound Audi. So we could have something like this. Let's just see here. This should push to the upside. We should see upside there. Euro pound. This should still continue to the downside. It's giving us a very nice entry for further downside. So it looks like we will break lower than that level. This is a continuation pattern for downside. We're seeing more downside on the Euro pound. That's supporting upside on the pound pairs. New Zealand. So New Zealand, initially, we looked at this last week. I think this was in our trading room. I was looking for this to break up higher. We were here, we broke out. Didn't go anywhere as I was expecting. I was actually expecting this to go to the upside, not this move, but it has now made that move. So we need to see what structure we're going to get from there. We're going to get a pullback here, get a corrective structure here. Let's see what we're going to get from here. We'll take it one wave at a time. Currently, the structure is not clear. It looks like it's still in the making. We've already looked at Euro Chief. Euro New Zealand, we have not looked at. With similar structure as Euro Audi. No, Euro Audi is different because it's showing us continuation to the downside. So Euro Audi, look for a trade setup that will take you down here. So Euro Audi, look for this to go from here to around 152. That's about 200 pips. So that will be a nice one to look at. And that's all on the euros and the pound. Audi New Zealand. So Audi New Zealand, last week we were here looking for this to come take the top here, just missed it by a few pips. We are now reversing. So what we're seeing here, you want to see this one come drop here, get a corrective structure and continue to the downside. Audi CAD. So Audi CAD is continuing to the downside. We're actually expecting a similar structure to Audi US dollar. Remember, Audi US dollar has done this and has now done this. Okay, but because of the CAD in this one, that's why it keeps dropping like that. So the structure is changing slightly on this one. So we're seeing this one making a 5-wave move to the upside. So let me just have a look here. See the structure that I've shown you previously, that we have got a 3-wave structure to the upside. I was still expecting more upside though. It's actually a 5-wave move here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You can see everything fits perfectly. Even if you look at the lower degrees here, you can see there's a clear 5 waves here in wave 5. So now we are pulling back in this. Should continue lower. Should continue lower. At some point, we're going to pull back and like that before we resume with the upside. So for now, we're going to be in the pullback. As I've said when we started, the markets have now reached the levels where we need to start seeing the pullbacks. Audi Chief, obviously because of the Chief in this one looks like we're still going to push to the upside, but there is not much momentum to the upside anymore. Even if we do see this one, we may see one more up and then pull back. There's not much momentum. New Zealand CAD, again, another one with a CAD in it. And I'm showing you the daily charts because that's where we are going now. We are going to see some deeper pullbacks, whether this goes back all the way to about 50% of the original moves that started in the beginning of 2020. So these moves that you're seeing started in the beginning of 2020, as you can see around March last year. We are around March now. Okay, so we are now starting the pullback exactly 1 year and we're getting the corrections. New Zealand Chief, again, another one with a Chief in it. Because of the Chief, we're still seeing a bit of strength here. We're going to see this one start pulling back as well. We're going to start seeing the pullback here. So that's high level focused on this. CAD Chief, I've been saying, just like any other CAD pair, just continue to buy. Just continue to buy. You're going to see further upside here. Continue to buy every time you get continuation to the upside, especially 4-hour time frames. If you get entries on the 4-hour, keep taking these. Right, that's all on the Forex instruments. Let's look at the indices. What have we been saying on the indices? I've been saying just one thing and one thing only, that every time you keep getting continuation patterns to the upside, you need to keep buying. So this is the S&P 500. This is where we were. We said it's going to continue to the upside. We are still here. We're going to see further upside. Even when we were here, we said continuation to the upside. This is where the move started. When they made these flats here, S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial, Dow Jones Transportation, we said they're going to make a push to the upside. We're going to see 5 waves from here, 5 waves in the lower degree, and that's why we've been saying one thing only, that is bullish. Right, Dow Jones. Let's go to the 4-hour. So, I mean, how much analysis do you have to do this or on this? You already saw that this is a continuation. This is a pulsing move to the upside. It's supposed to be a 5-wave move. So every time you get this, you should not be worried because you'll see continuation to the upside. Anyway, so this is just to show you one sequence on this. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. One sequence on this 4-hour. There we go. So we're looking at this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking for 5 waves. When did we take this trade? If we go to last year around these levels, around November, December 2020, we saw this. On all the indices, the structure, you'll see this structure on all the indices. Right, so that's the Dow Jones. Now, what are you looking for? Simple. Every time continuation to the upside, continuation to the upside. We're still looking for upside. You'll see, let me go jump onto the Nikkei just to show you something on the Nikkei. So the Nikkei has already made that structure that we're looking at on the rest of the indices. When we were here on the Nikkei, we spent a couple of days here, a couple of weeks, saying the Nikkei is going to push up higher for a wave 3. Okay, if you just go to the videos around 5 November, around these dates, you'll see that we've been focusing that the Nikkei was going to push up higher with that move. So it's exactly the same thing that we're focusing with the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, so that we're going to see this one make further upside here now. Okay, we already started the moves there. Nasdaq, another one that has made a 3-wave pullback, and we're still expecting upside. Right, that is the Nasdaq UK 100. So the UK 100 is making this interesting structure. I've shown this last week, 3 waves up, 3 waves back. As I said last week, that expect this to push a little bit higher to around those levels. Whether it's going to be making this structure or not, we need to see what structure is, why we will be getting that structure, then we can update. So let's see if we're going to take the top here. Looks like we may. DAX, let's look at this one. DAX, again, another one, same thing. 1, 2, 3, we said push to the upside. 1, 2, 3, we said expect upside. Now we're making these 5 waves here. Here's another wave 4. We're going to expect this one to continue pushing up higher. Just a structure on the DAX, just to see where that all that comes from. That's where that comes from. That's where it all comes from. We had this bigger corrective structure, and we've been expecting this to continue pushing up higher. Look at when this is actually the latest update. It's the latest update on the charts. Let's run through the rest. Nikkei, we've already looked at. Nifty, have we looked at the Nikkei? Yes, we have. I was making an example with the Nikkei rather, and expecting this to continue to push up higher. We've made a 3-wave pullback, expect a continuation to the upside. Same as the Nifty. Nifty, we're making a flat, 3 waves down, move back up. 3 waves down and move back up, and then we'll expect this one to do this, and then further upside again. And that's all for this week, guys. Trade responsibly. The crypto webinar is coming up shortly. Please don't forget to hit that notification button. Don't forget to drop us a like, comment. We'll view your comments and appreciate your feedback. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.